This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, a fresh bid to pedestrianise part of Dunedin's St Clair Esplanade is being promoted by a city councillor. City Care's latest piece of equipment is a remote control spider which cuts grass. And survey results show Shania Twain's December concert drew almost 18,000 fans, over half from out of town. Kia ora, I'm Holly Buchanan. A fresh bid to pedestrianise part of the Esplanade at Dunedin's St Clair is being promoted by a local city councillor. The idea, raised by Conrad Stedman at this week's annual plan meeting, would, if confirmed, place a ban on vehicles being driven along part of the Esplanade.
Dodging the salt spray along Dunedin's St Clair Beach, one of the city's most popular recreation areas. But City Councillor Conrad Stedman says the mix of cars and pedestrians among other modes of transport along the Esplanade is something he'd like to see changed.
Fundamentally it's about safety of the little ones and people enjoying the space, and whether that's pedestrianisation or whatever, I don't know. But it's about having a plan and moving forward.
The City Councillor says the success of businesses in the area has led to congestion, with some motorists parking over residents' driveways, on footpaths or illegally in disability spaces.
You know, the weekend I came down here and there was a car parked on the footpath outside someone's house, opposite Pier 24. You know, that's not on.
And his solution is to ban cars from the street.
I would like to see this pedestrianised, you know, from the corner there and just to the car park. You know, only this little corner here.
It's an idea he's promoted previously before becoming a city councillor.
I know there's apprehension to a plan I've put forward before by local businesses and some people about blocking this off, and I understand that.
In a bid to win over the owners of local cafes and restaurants, he's suggesting retaining vehicle access to most existing car parks along the waterfront, but via a new route through what's currently a grassed park.
I would like to see possibly the parking changed. There's the green space beside Majestic Mansions. I would like to see that possibly changed or add some parking there.
At this week's annual plan meeting, he again asked staff to report back on options and costs for planning changes to parking, roading and recreation facilities in the area. Other councillors have backed his call.
I'm not sure there's really any justification for people being able to continue cruising around the Esplanade because it's nice.
Meaning the report set to be presented as part of the annual plan deliberations in May in Dunedin, the South Today.
A firefighter has praised the quick-thinking actions of a Summerland truck driver who was able to safely pull over as his trailers were being engulfed in flames north of Oamaru. Police received a report of the truck on fire on State Highway 1 between Makikihi and Waimati around 7:30 this morning. A passenger in a passing vehicle managed to film the truck with its rear trailer already well alight. The truck driver made it to the Makikihi Country Hotel, where the vehicle became fully engulfed in flames. Hotel manager Daniel Lewis says there aren't too many places to stop along State Highway 1 in the area, so the driver was lucky he got the truck into the car park. Volunteer fire officer Rob Osmar says the driver did the right thing pulling off the highway. The truck was carrying milk powder and the blaze was eventually extinguished by fire crews with no reports of injury. You may have heard of, seen or perhaps even owned a remote control vacuum cleaner, but they're not a patch on CityCare's latest piece of remote control technology for tackling tricky outdoor lawn mowing.
It's a spider, but not as we know it. This $40,000 remote control lawnmower is the newest weapon in CityCare's weed whacking arsenal.
It can cut 7,000 square metres an hour, where a guy with a weed eater can, on a good day, can do probably 1,200. So it's very efficient, very quiet, very safe, safe for the operator, and safe for the environment, basically. So it's a win-win for everybody.
CityCare's operations manager Wayne Carling says the spider is safer for operators and isn't as loud as weed eaters.
From a health and safety perspective, it's We've got no fear of injuring anybody, falling on a steep bank or slipping over. It's also very quiet, so the noise pollution compared to, you can imagine, petrol-driven weed eaters, which are very loud. This machine is very, very quiet.
The ultra-rugged four-wheel drive Spider mower arrived in Dunedin this week and is set to be used to mow the city's steep banks following comprehensive operator training.
It's got the capability, it's got a winch on the back, so you can actually winch it. It comes with a securing device that you attach the winch to, so you can actually work on very steep slopes where you can drive it down, winched, and then because the wheels all work independently, so you can pendulum cut, and then you can winch it in on the cut.
The mower is capable of moving both forwards and sideways and completing a 360-degree turn, hence the Spider name. Carling says these qualities mean CityCare can access some of the spots which have been troublesome in the past. In Dunedin, the South Today.
2 people have been hospitalised after a serious assault in Oamaru last night. Police say they attended the scene at a Turn Street address at around 9:30 after reports of a physical altercation involving 3 males. 2 of the men suffered injuries. One was admitted to Oamaru Hospital and the other was transported to Dunedin Hospital by ambulance. Inquiries are continuing. Survey results show Shania Twain's December show at Forsyth Bar Stadium drew almost 18,000 fans, with over half being visitors to the city. The concert was one of 8 performed under the roof and concluded what stadium bosses say is their biggest year yet.
Entertaining the crowds at Dunedin's Forsyth Bar Stadium, Shania Twain's concert last December capping the biggest year yet for the venue. Speaking just before the concert, CEO Terry Davies said it's been a great year.
It's an incredible end of year for us. 2018 has been an incredible year for the stadium and for the city.
It's thought that more than $77 million was injected into the local economy from visiting concert goers over last year. Davies says the stadium has proved to be much more than just a venue for rugby matches.
This is a stadium for everyone. If we run the stats for the last 12 months, 220,000 people came through to see concert performances, and we had 160,000 through for rugby, and we actually had another 40,000 coming in for community events. So this is open for everyone.
After the December gig, the final figure for concert attendees over the year totalled around 230,000. Shania Twain's concert alone drew in over $5 million in direct expenditure. And with the spectre of a competing roofed venue on the cards from Christchurch, Davies says the success of his stadium is about doing what they do well.
We care about today, tomorrow, and what we can manage. We've proven ourselves, to your point, over the last 3-4 years. We have great relationships in the market. We're selling tickets and we're delivering brilliant events.
And the stadium is not resting on its laurels, with the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac and former Dunedin band 660 already scheduled to perform this year. In Dunedin, for the South Today.
And still to come on the South Today, winds wreak further havoc in the Lakes District area, downing trees and cutting power. And the woman who has run some of the most gruelling adventure races on the planet, we hear about her latest trip, ski touring across the Greenland ice cap.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
I just like it. It's something that you can see the fruits of your own labour. You put it right now, you don't have as much to do at Christmas. If you come see me, Derek, in the garden department, then we get it done right.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Need to rent an EFTPOS? Whether it's just a week or the whole season, maybe a pop-up store, a concert or event, Anything's POS have equipment available to suit your needs for retail and hospitality with local support. To rent, lease or buy, contact Anything's POS.
Welcome back. Auckland artist Dick Frizzell is set to be the next artist in residence at Alexandra's Henderson House. Frizzell is preparing for an exhibition of his works at Milford Galleries in Dunedin later this year and says many of those paintings will come from references built up during the Alex residency. He'll arrive in Alexandra with his wife Jude tomorrow for a stint of 2 to 3 months at Henderson House. He says the Milford exhibition is set to feature central Otago and Southland landscapes, so the residency will give him a more leisurely time frame to explore the region. Severe wind is once again playing havoc in the Queenstown area, with power out to some residents and downed trees closing in Arrowtown Street. Queenstown Lakes District Council responded to trees down on Centennial Avenue in Arrowtown this morning. Motorists were advised to use alternative roads, with trees having to be felled and further timber removed from verges. The Met Service say gusts of up to 80 kilometres an hour were recorded around the Lakes District. The windy conditions around Queenstown came after extreme winds downed trees, closed roads and cut power to more than 4,000 in Queenstown and central Otago last week. Holly Woodhouse is a Christchurch-based endurance athlete and adventurer. Originally from a farm in mid-Canterbury, she has run some of the most gruelling adventure races on the planet, including ones spanning hundreds of kilometres across the Sahara Desert and Amazon jungle. She recently completed a 560-kilometre ski touring trek across the Greenland ice cap with 3 others. CTV recently spoke to her about her adventure.
It's probably only since I've returned that I can fully appreciate how far I pushed myself. I was almost 55 kgs when I started, so a couple of kgs more than what I normally sit at. And I was 47 kgs when I hopped on the scales once we got onto land. And it was that moment. It was looking in the mirror for the first time, because I hadn't seen myself for 30 days, and seeing the physical toll of what that adventure was on my body. And I just about burst into tears. It was scary. It was really scary. Yeah, I felt like a stranger in my body. I've done some pretty cool adventures in my time. I've done the coast to coast, and I've run ultra through the Sahara Desert, and I've done an ultra through the Amazon jungle in Peru. They were all extreme, and I'd come to the end of it and I'd sort of be like, what's next? What's the next thing? But Greenland changed me. It was incredible. Like, the landscape was just out of this world. Amazing, like 360-degree views, you know, land and sky became one. The polka, or the sled that I would be pulling, would be at least 5 kgs heavier than what I was. I had a tyre that lived in the back of my car and a harness, and I'd go, mum and dad, on rural Canterbury roads south of Esplanade, so I'd go and hide and try and pull a tyre down the road. I naively thought Greenland would be flat, and we were just straight into it, these ice falls up and down, and yeah, I just, within the 10 minutes, and I was just like, holy moly, how am I going to get through this? We had a couple of cold days, one very cold day. We did recording just as we left, and it was negative 39.5 with the wind chill, and it was freezing. Like, my inside of my goggles were frozen. I had this one little spot where I could look out, and it was white out, and I was just looking at the sled in front of me. Do not lose the sled in front of me. It had a couple of storms before the gnarly one, the one. I'd been told in the morning that there was a hurricane on its way, and we were like, ooh, you know, this is going to be different to our daily walk. We stopped walking at midday, bang on, and spent the next 6 or 7 hours setting up our camp. I don't know, I mean, it's nothing like I have ever experienced before. The wind, the whiteout, the temperature, and then we just hunkered inside our tents for a whole day. It was actually really nice. Slept and ate. Never before have I been at my limit for so long, and I came back with a really different outlook on life and a huge appreciation of how lucky I am, and my family, and my boyfriend, and my friends, and my job, and being able to go and make a coffee, and the little things. And I think I'm a lot more calmer and appreciative about what I have.
After the break on the South Today, the long arms and strong backs of the law help out a Dunedin boatie, and we check out what the weather has in store for us this weekend.
Tune in to Eastern Light Filmworks every week.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen, and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Most of us have spots on our skin. That's quite normal. Finding skin cancer as early as possible is key to successful treatment. Book in for a free check of 1 to 2 moles or a comprehensive full body check with the Mole Doctor in Waverley.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garrador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren, his Garrador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
It's always really satisfying when a customer comes back after doing a purchase of outdoor furniture and knowing that we've got it done right.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Need to rent an EFTPOS? Whether it's just a week or the whole season, maybe a pop-up store, a concert or event, Anything's POS have equipment available to suit your needs for retail and hospitality with local support. To rent, lease or buy, contact Anything's POS.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Welcome back. A Dunedin boatie's trip on Otago Harbour was curtailed yesterday morning after the engine on the vessel stopped working. Luckily, a brisk breeze in the upper harbour was coming from the right direction. The boat was blown towards Portsmouth Drive, where emergency services were able to help get the vessel and its owner ashore. A team of at least 3 police officers and as many members of Fire and Emergency New Zealand lifted the aluminium craft onto a trailer on Portsmouth Drive. And finally, something a little different for the week. ODT photographer Peter McIntosh visited Tyree Mouth earlier this week, where he spotted some unusual structures on the beach. They turned out to be sculptures made out of driftwood, but why or who or by whom or why, nobody knows. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. A fresh bid to pedestrianise part of the Esplanade at Dunedin's St Clair is being promoted by a local city councillor. CityCare's latest piece of remote controlled technology for tackling tricky outdoor lawn mowing. And survey results show Shania Twain's December show at Forsyth Bar Stadium drew almost 18,000 fans, with over half being visitors to the Dunedin city. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Philip.
Yes, hi Holly. A mixed day tomorrow, lots in it. Bruce Munro, our features writer, has interviewed Mike Fleetwood at his home in Hawaii, talking about Tim Flynn joining the band, and how that's gone, and a family friend of the Finns, so that's interesting.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
Tony Nielsen from Musselburgh has written an interesting piece about discovering prostate cancer and what he did then.
Good to be aware.
Indeed, his advice on that front. He's also interviewed John Farn, the Australian singer, who is extremely well known, particularly to mid and older generations.
Okay.
The food page is vegan foods, travels close to home, the magic of steam at Mandeville near Gore.
Right, okay.
And Bitry, we don't normally talk about then. Hayden Meikle, former sports editor, netball writer, and a family friend, has written a loving piece about Georgie Salter, a massive figure in netball in the South, and a really nice read. So keep an eye out for that in the paper as well.
Lots in tomorrow's ODT. Thank you very much, Philip. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with tonight's southern view, irrigation in full swing at the Dunedin railway station. Looking at the situation, a mostly fine weekend lies ahead as westerly airflow blows over the seas south of the country and an anticyclone moves over the South Island. Starting off with the southern towns, where it's expected to be mostly fine with light sou'westers. Balclutha and the Catlins are aiming for 16 degrees, while Lumsden and Gore can expect 17. Travelling westwards to the Central Lakes, where the southerly blast is waning, Wanaka is expected to be the warmest of this bunch with 22 degrees. Alexandra and Queenstown are 1 degree cooler on 21, while it's comparatively cool in Tiano, where the mercury should hit 16. To the northern towns, Timaru and Oamaru are heading for afternoon nor'easters and otherwise a fine day, looking at a top of 18 in Timaru and 17 in Oamaru. Omarama and Twizel should have light winds and fine weather. Twizel, you're headed for a high of 21 and Omarama 22. In Dunedin tonight, fine with light southwesterlies and an overnight low of 10. Some sunny periods early tomorrow, but mostly cloudy from mid-morning with moderate sou'westers. Cooler temperatures, 16 the high. Mostly cloudy on Sunday too, with a few brief sunny periods developing. Light nor'easters with a high of 17 degrees. And Invercargill becoming fine tonight with southwesterlies easing with an overnight low of 10. Tomorrow, fine and sunny with some cloud at times, aiming for a high of 17. Sunday, moderate westerly winds with a high of 18 degrees. And that wraps up the South Today for this week. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz, channel 39.co.nz, or follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Have a safe and restful weekend. Good night.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.